He's back on the KJ Today Show, and he's coming back to Indianapolis. It's Matt Fraser.
Thank you. It's great to be here. Did you hear him coming to your area?
I did. So Clues Memorial Hall is like 10 minutes from my house, Matt. I'm so excited.
Oh, my God. You got to come. You got to make sure you're there.
I will. So let me make sure I got it right. October 16th is when you are coming to Clues Memorial Hall at Butler University, right?
I sure am, yes.
Okay. Well, Matt Fraser, it is always it's like a blast of fresh air every time you join us, and just finding out that you're going to be here is making my day even better. But you also have a new book out, so let's talk about it. I love the title. Don't wait till you're dead. And it's a lot of new information for us who have been following along with you for a while, right?
Well, absolutely. I mean, the one thing that I really wanted to get through with this book is really share the conversations that I've had with the souls that have passed away. Because what people don't realize is that souls do have regrets on the other side. They do look back on their life and say, I wish that I would have done things differently. And there's a reason for that. When we pass away, we go through a life review process where we see everything in between, and we see what we could have done differently within our life. We see what would have happened if we married our high school sweetheart versus our husband now. What would have happened if we didn't have our children? How our life would have been different if we took this job instead of that job. And, it's a time for us to reflect, to look back on our life, and also discover our life purpose. So souls have regrets through this life review process, and their message to us is don't have those same regrets. So in this book, I list all of the regrets that people have that have passed on, and how you can do your own life review now and make positive changes in your life right now while you're still living and breathing.
That is amazing. So, Matt, does this information come through as you're, doing these appearances and, and connecting with people, or, are you on an afternoon like, hey, you know what, I'm gonna connect to the spirit world and see what they can tell me to help people out? Like, how is this coming together for you?
Well, believe it or not, this is my 15-year anniversary of doing mediumship publicly. So for 15 years, I've been doing this. And I'll tell you that with every reading that I do, I want you to know one thing. Souls have a story, and I'm here to tell that story. So that being said, for example, I've read for some of the biggest regrets were a man that had passed away and disowned his daughter after having a really bad battle with alcoholism. And his regret was not finding help sooner, and more importantly, about disowning his daughter here in this world, because after he passed on, he went through his life review, he saw the hurt and pain that he left her with. Another regret that I saw was a man who had left this world, and after he went to the other side, he regretted the fact that he didn't help his friends and his family who were struggling with addictions. And he saw when he went to the other side how much they had gone through this addiction issue. So the thing is that every soul has a story to tell that they have in their life. It's almost like the Christmas Carol when Ebenezer Scrooge goes through this huge journey within his life, looks back and makes changes. That's the same thing that happens with souls when they pass on. But what the souls want us to know is that we don't have to have that near-death experience or that wake-up call to make positive changes in our life right now. There's things that you can be doing right now to make sure that you're living the best life possible.
And in the book, Don't Wait Till You're Dead, you actually, this is a sort of a workbook. You actually give us exercises we can do to make sure that we are connecting to our purpose and living the best life right now.
Absolutely. It's in the very last chapter. So you go all through the book, you realize, the top regrets, what your loved ones would have done differently. Then you learn about, why you're put here on earth, about your life purpose. And then at the end of the book, you go through and you do your own life review, and you reflect back on your life, and you go through the journey before you even die. And, it's an emotional experience. It's an eye-opening experience, but it's also an experience that's going to help you to identify some of the roadblocks, some of the past pain, and some of the mistakes that you made. Because sometimes when we're going through life, we feel like we're on a treadmill that just never ends. We meet the same people, go through the same mistakes, go through the Well, this is a way to break the cycle and to release yourself now.
I'm not gonna lie, when you were talking about, this review that we have in the afterlife, I was cringing a little bit like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to go back and watch this?"
If people
So
do, you're not the only one. You are not the only one. Everybody, when I talk about this life review, the first question that I'm asked is not, what if we don't want to go through it? What if we don't want to see these things, right? And it's the same thing with even me as a medium, right? Or celebrities that I can't tell you how many celebrities don't want to watch their TV show, right? You have that
right.
cringe-worthy moment where it's like, oh, I don't want to watch me on TV. Oh, I don't want to listen to my voice. So how many celebrities that I read for, don't even like the sound of their own voice. But it's what makes you unique. It's what makes you special. And it's one of the things that once we go through it, it might be emotional, it might be hard, but at the same time, it's one of the most beautiful experiences that you can ever go through.
So let me ask Matt, and maybe this is like the next book, but when we get to the other side, we have these regrets. Hopefully now we don't, because we're going to read your book and we're going to get it right. But I often will say to myself in the middle of something where I'm like, oh my gosh, this is happening again because I didn't learn the lesson. I'll tell myself, like, get it right because I don't want to come back. Like, let's get it right. So do you know, like, when we see things, then how we move forward in the afterlife? Do we have
Oh my
another
God,
life?
yes, absolutely. Let me tell you something. It's happening right now. I can't tell you how many clients that I have that make the same mistakes. It's like they date the same people. It always happens usually with love. There's so many people
Mhm.
that try to go and like for example, my son just turned 2 years old and we have that game at home. The game where you put the shapes through the hole, the square
Oh
goes
yeah.
through the square, circle. So many times within life, we try to push the square through the circle and try to make it fit, even though it won't, right? And that's really our greatest lesson is really learning how to navigate when we're going down the wrong path. So, for
Mhm.
example, you meet a person that you're physically and sexually attracted to, but it's just not going to work. We try to push that relationship and make it work, but it's just not going to. So really what we can learn right now is how to break the patterns in the past cycles. We all know that one person that goes after the same type of guy, the same type of girl, and we're like, if you just went for somebody nice, if you didn't go for the bad asses, then then you'd be in a serious relationship, right? If you didn't go for the playboys, you'd be in a better place now. Well, that's really what this book is about. It's really about identifying those things that are holding you back. And for everybody, it's different. It's not just love. It could be financial. It could be work. It could be a million different things. But identifying what your weak points are, what's setting you back, and making the changes now.
The book is called Don't Wait Till You're Dead, Spirits Advice from the Afterlife. And Matt Fraser is coming to Indianapolis Clues Memorial Hall at Butler University on October 16th. And I can't wait to see you, Matt. Thank you so much for being back on the show.
Thank you. I'm really excited to be there.
Thanks for joining me for another celebrity interview. KJ Today, where you'll find the positive vibes of pop culture, people to know, and pets. If you like this interview, please make sure you give it a like, rate, review, and subscribe. And join us on YouTube the first Wednesday of every month for the full KJ Today show, where we play trivia, bring you more celebrity guests, and even a pet of the week to keep you feeling the positive vibes.